Fletcher Christian. What's in a name? By Fletcher Christian. Fletcher Christian was an actual British naval officer in the late 1700s. He was famously the leader in a mutiny against Lt. Bligh and later left him adrift. We know most of what happened because Lt. Bligh wrote a lot of it down. Fletcher ended up on an island called Pitcairn and was likely murdered there eventually. To this day some of his descendants still live on the island. So the question is, why did I choose this moniker, and what's up with the fascination with this story? In hindsight, I probably should have explained this for my first article or post. Men like Fletcher speak to a certain type of man and a particular personality type. It's a sort of man that won't tolerate injustice and tyranny. He's someone that would rather die than live under someone else's boot. Now don't let this fool you. I don't think I'm capable of the actions Fletcher took back in the late 1700s, but I hope that if I was under similar circumstances I could potentially do what I thought needed to be done. Now, what if anything does Fletcher's story and the bounty generally point towards? Well, it points to a couple of different things I find worthwhile. Besides not standing for being trampled on, it could also be what my friend Richard Barrett calls the confrontational warrior ethos. In a nutshell, what this means is that when someone or something is acting like a predator, the confrontational warrior will stand up to it. The warrior will choose to fight instead of accepting it or just fleeing or freezing up. So, of course, we have predation in this world and people at different times and levels who will fight against it. Do you ever really know what you will do in a given situation until that hypothetical actually occurs? No, we don't know, but we can try to be objective about things and humbly hope we would do what we think we would do when needed. If you have any track record of standing up for something, then maybe this speaks to you in some way. From a more, let's say, non-heroic but aesthetic perspective, I enjoy the film and book because of the setting and landscapes. For a long time, I've wanted to visit places like Bora Bora and Tahiti, etc. I'd love to go to Hawaii and everywhere in between. There's a wanderlust in almost all of us. It's really only a matter of degree. Sometimes I refer to this inclination as an explorative gene. So on a basic level, I enjoy the story because overall it's an adventure. Men need a frontier, and even broader than that, a nation needs a frontier. America is special because it had almost a boundless frontier, a theme I'll explore at later date. BTW. The age of sail and the sheer magnitude of exploration in that era is something to behold. It must have been an exciting time, and even on that cramped ship, the Bounty, the men probably had a sense of wonder and trepidation going from this island to that in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Imagine stepping foot on a tropical island for the first time, or never being anywhere except your little hamlet or village, and then after being at sea for weeks on end you end up in an exotic paradise of sorts. What would you do, and what would you even think about, really? Now, of course, being on a regimented English naval vessel would have tons of things on your to-do list and orders to be obeyed and so on, but at the end of the day, being somewhere with a pleasant temperature, plentiful food, and lots of naked women probably seemed like a mirage to most men. At least at first. You'd have to pinch yourself just to make sure it wasn't a dream. Next, I want you to think about not having a day off for months, maybe years. And you find yourself on this nice beach. You have coconut water until your thirst is perfectly quenched, and you have a woman, which you never have had before, by the way. Even if you're not a lazy non-Puritan work ethic type of dude, you're going to want to relax and enjoy the sandy beach shaded by the palm trees. Hell, even today, just living a kind of postmodern soft life, I love sitting poolside or laying down under an oak tree and just letting the breeze wisp by me. For those paying attention, this is called Jimmy Buffet Pilled. I highly advise taking that medicinal salve. When you visualize this lifestyle, focus on the hammock, the beach, the shade, and seaside breezes cooling you off. If you add the right amount of Margaritaville in your life, things tend to fall into place. The most known retelling of the mutiny on the Bounty was written by James Norman Hall and his friend Charles Nordhoff. Both these men volunteered to be pilots during the First World War. They went on to eventually move to Tahiti and spend much of their life there. James was a farm boy from Iowa and Charles was raised in Southern California. These men had a thirst for adventure, and it's poetic that they would be the authors of this story I love so much. I hope to do a podcast on James Hall sometime soon. Now you know a little bit about my alias and why it had to be this way. As they say, form follows function. Romanticizing and embellishing the swashbuckler life is part of what we do here at Fletcher Christian's Purview. I hope you're happy to be aboard. It'll be fun, but you're going to want to batten down the hatches. It's going to get a little turbulent.